Good morning. Namaste. Today shall be the last class of the chapter sound, and I hope you will enjoy the video and you will learn the thing that are there in the chapter. And if you still have any doubt regarding this chapter, you are free to ask anytime. So without making late, let's start.
Reflection of sound. Reflection of sound is similar to the thing that you have already read in reflection of light, in which it states the angle of incidence, angle of reflection will be same, and incident ray, reflected ray, and the normal at the point of incidence all lie in the same place. Same things happen in case of reflection of sound. As bouncing back of light after striking a surface, we call it reflection of light. Similarly, bouncing back of sound after striking a surface, we call it reflection of sound. Next subtopic is echo. Have you ever come across such type of situation when you clap and after hearing the sound of clapping, again also you hear the sound of clapping? Means you are clapping once, but you are hearing the sound of clapping twice. And sometimes you may also come across some other types of situation like you shout once but you hear the sound twice. So let us see what are the phenomena that are happening there, and it's nothing other than echo. So let us understand what is echo and how does it happen, or what are the conditions which are required in order to hear a proper echo. Echo is nothing, it is the repetition of sound because of the reflection of sound wave. In simple word, we can say that echo is the reflected sound. Now let's calculate the minimum distance to hear a proper echo. It has been estimated by scientists that if two sounds reach our ears within an interval of 1/10 of a second, then we cannot hear them as separate sounds. They appear to be just one sound. The human ear can hear two sounds separately only if there is a time interval of 1/10 second of a sound or more than that. This means we can hear the original sound and the reflected sound separately if there is a time interval of at least 1/10 of the second or 0.1 second between them. Now, knowing the minimum time interval required for an echo to be heard and the speed of sound in air, we can calculate the minimum distance for a sound reflecting surface like wall which is necessary to hear an echo. We know that distance is equal to speed into time, and here we know the speed of sound which is 344 meter per second at 20 degrees centigrade, and time is 0.1 second. So in order to get the distance traveled by the sound, in order to hear a proper echo, we have to multiply the speed of the sound and the time taken, which is 344 into 0.1, we will get 34.4 meters. This means that the reflecting surface should be at 17.2 meter away from the sound producing body. See, the sound will travel 17.2 meters in order to reach the reflecting surface and come back 17.2 meters, and both will add up to form 34.4 meters, which we have already calculated before that the sound must travel 34.4 meters in order to hear a proper echo. See this diagram, and this diagram speaks the things that have been said here. I think it will be clear to you now. Next is reverberation. See, if a sound is made in a big hall, the sound waves are reflected repeatedly from the walls, ceilings, and floor of the hall and produce many echoes. The echo time is, however, so short that many echoes overlap with the original sound, and due to this, the original seems to be prolonged and last for a longer time. In other words, the sound made in a big hall persists or lasts longer. The persistence of sound in a big hall due to the repeated reflections from the walls, ceiling, and floor of the wall is called reverberation. This reverberation makes the sound becomes blurred, distorted and confusing due to overlapping of different sounds. So nowadays there are many methods that are being followed to control the reverberation. They are panels made of sound absorbing materials are put on the walls and ceilings of the big halls. Carpets are put on the floor to absorb sound and reduce reverberation. Heavy curtains are put on the doors and windows to absorb sound and reduce reverberation. The material having sound absorbing properties is used for making the seats in a big hall or the auditorium to reduce reverberation. The next is uses of multiple reflection of sound. In horns, megaphones and loud haulers, the sound are made to travel in a particular direction, get reflected multiple times before it reaches to the listener. And in stethoscope, which is an instrument used by doctor to hear the heartbeat, here also the same principle, the principle of multiple reflection of sound is used. And you must have observed in some concert hall that the ceilings are made curved. Here also, in order to use the phenomena of reflection of sound or multiple reflection of sound, the ceilings are made curved. A range of hearing. The audible range for a normal human is 20 Hz to 20 kHz. It just means that the sound which are produced within the frequency of 20 Hz to 20 kHz, only those sounds can be heard by human being, and other than that or less than 20 Hz or and more than 20 kHz won't be here. The sound wave whose frequency is less than 20 Hz are called infrasound, and the sound waves whose frequency are more than 20 kHz are called ultrasound or ultrasonic. There are many animals who used to communicate using infrasound or the sound waves whose frequency are less than 20 Hz. Those animals are whales, elephants, rhinoceros, etc. There are also some animals who can produce ultrasound. Those animals are dolphins, rats, bats, porpoises, etc. Ultrasound. Ultrasounds are used in industries. They are used to detect the flaws or the cracks in the metal blocks without damaging them. Also, they are used to clean hard to reach parts of the object such as spiral tubes, odd shaped machines, and electrical components. Ultrasound are also used to investigate internal organs of human body such as liver, gallbladder, pancreas, kidney, uterus, heart, etc. Ultrasound scans are also used to monitor the development of fetus or the unborn baby inside the mother's uterus. Ultrasound is also used to break kidney stones into fine grains. Ultrasound is also used in sonar apparatus to measure the depth of sea and to locate the undersea objects like shoal of a fish, shipwrecks, submarines, sea rocks, hidden icebergs in sea, etc. Let's know about sonar. See, the word sonar stands for sound navigation and ranging. Sonar is an apparatus which is used to find the depth of a sea or to locate underwater things like shoals of fish, shipwrecks, enemy submarines. Sonar apparatus are fitted to the ship, which consists of two parts. One is a transmitter for emitting ultrasonic waves and other is receiver for detecting ultrasonic waves. The sonar device measures the time taken by the ultrasonic sound pulse to travel from the ship to the bottom of the sea and back to the ship, and thus it is how it calculates the depth of the sea or the hidden underwater object. The principle used by sonar is quite similar to the principle used by bats to fly at night and to search their prey. Bats emit high frequency ultrasonic squawks while flying and listen to the echoes produced by the reflection of their squawks from the object. From the time taken by the echo to be heard, bats can judge the distance of the object
in their path and hence avoid it by changing the direction. The human ear. Human ear is the statoacoustic organ. Because its function is not only to make us hear the sound, it also gives stability to the body. So now we will be understanding how it helps in hearing a sound, and regarding giving stability to the body, that you shall be knowing in higher classes. Human ear consists of three compartments: the outer ear, the middle ear, and the inner ear. The part of ear which we see outside the head is called the outer ear. The outer ear consists of a broad part called pinna and 2 to 3 centimeters long passage called ear canal. And at the end of ear canal is a thin, elastic and circular membrane called eardrum. This eardrum is also called tympanum. The middle ear contains three small and delicate bones called hammer, anvil and stirrup. These ear bones are linked to one another. One end of the bone called hammer is touching the eardrum and its outer end is connected to the second bone called anvil. The outer end of anvil is connected to third bone called stirrup, and the free end of the stirrup is held against the membrane over the oval window of inner ear. The lower part of middle ear has a narrow tube called eustachian tube going to the throat. Eustachian tube connects the middle ear to the throats and ensures that air pressure inside the middle ear is same to that of the outside. The inner ear has a coiled tube called cochlea. One side of cochlea is connected to the middle ear through the elastic membrane over the oval window. The cochlea is filled with a liquid. The liquid present in cochlea contains nerve cells which are sensitive to sound. The other side of cochlea is connected to the auditory nerve which goes into the brain. Now let us understand working of human ear. The sound waves are collected by pinna of outer ear. The sound waves pass through the ear canal and fall on the eardrum, thus making the eardrum vibrate back and forth rapidly. This vibration is further amplified by the middle ear with the help of three bones, that those are hammer, anvil and stirrup. The function of these three tiny bones in the middle ear is to increase the strength of vibration coming from the eardrum before passing them to the inner ear. Now the sound waves are passed to inner ear which are connected to the auditory nerve. This auditory nerve carries the signal and sends it to our brain, and our brain interprets it and make us hear the sound.